Live.
Hello there, a very good evening and welcome to another edition of Primetime News on TV1. I'm Charlene Benedict for the Newsfirst team.
And I'm Rochelle Tamodar. Let's start off with a look at your headlines for tonight.
Supreme Court issues order preventing the appointment or nomination of Supreme Court justices. Political parties prepare to celebrate May Day. 14 celebrations in Colombo. Eric Solheim commends the President. Parliamentarians and ministers rally for tax-free vehicle imports. High Court acquits parliamentarian Mahindananda in bribery case.
On to your top story for tonight, the Supreme Court today issued an interim order on the President preventing the appointment or nomination of the Supreme Court justices apart from the Chief Justice.
Now, the order was issued when a fundamental rights petition filed stating that the Constitutional Council, led by the Speaker, violated fundamental rights by rejecting the President's recommendation to appoint Justice Nisanka Bandula Karunaratne as a Supreme Court Justice, was called in court again today.
The petition was filed by attorney BPSM Pathiratna. The petition was heard before a Supreme Court bench comprising Justices S. Raja, AHMD Nawaz and Shiran Gunaratne today. The bench granted leave to consider the petition and look into whether fundamental rights were violated under Article 12 of the Constitution by rejecting the nomination of the President to the Supreme Court without following due process. The interim order was issued to remain in effect until the conclusion of the hearing of the petition. The bench fixed the 4th of October for the hearing of the petition. Deputy Solicitor General Kanishkari Silva appeared on behalf of the respondents, including the Constitutional Council, the Prime Minister, the Speaker and the Attorney General. President's Counsel M.A. Sumandiran appeared for the opposition leader and MP Kabir Hashim, and President's Counsel Faiza Mustafa appeared for the petitioner.
The Inter-University Students' Activity Committee engaged in a protest opposite the Technical College in Ratmalana today.
Students from 6 technical colleges engaged in a protest today. They demanded to be awarded the HNDE course certificate, which they believe they are entitled to in addition to the NVQ level certificate. Police obstructed the students from entering the technical college in Ratmalana when they attempted to do so. The students left the premises and returned to their protest.
We have previously sought solutions through discussions. These discussions have not been successful. This has forced students to take to the street in peaceful protest in order to secure the HNDE certificate they believe they deserve. We are committed to continuing this fight until a solution is given.
Prominent political parties and groups are gearing up for International Labour Day, also known as May Day, in Colombo, as well as several other key cities across the country.
Now, in Colombo alone, 14 May Day parades and rallies are scheduled to take place. Authorities said that across the country, 40 events have been organized.
President Ranil Wickremesinghe is scheduled to participate in 2 May Day rallies tomorrow in line with International Labour Day. President Wickremesinghe is slated to lead the United National Party's May Day rally from opposite the Maligawatta Police in Colombo. The rally will be held under the theme Yali Nowatana Abhimanawat Ratak Sama Kalata.
The Sri Lankan people will look at how President Ranil Wickremesinghe uplifted the country from the crisis. The UNP May Day rally is being transformed to a May Day rally to show gratitude to him. A large crowd of people will come to this location using buses, trains and all other forms of transport from the southern province. The massive crowd may not be able to come near the stage. We will see what will happen tomorrow evening.
President Ranil Wickremesinghe will participate in the May Day rally organised by the Ceylon Workers' Congress to commemorate International Labour Day tomorrow morning at the Kottagala Public Grounds. The Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna will celebrate May Day this year at Campbell Park in Colombo. The May Day rally named Podujana May Rally will be led by leader of the SLPP, Mahinda Rajapaksa. National organizer of the SLPP, Namal Rajapaksa, today visited the Gangaramya temple in Hunupitiya, Colombo and informed the Mahasangha of the May Day rally.
You will statistically see a massive crowd. Every party is giving numbers. We will not announce numbers in advance. We said we will fill the golf face screen and we did it. Come and see for yourself tomorrow. No, May Day is not the day to announce presidential candidates. As a tribute to our labourers, we will discuss the matter on that day. Let's see who joins it and who doesn't. If those who don't participate have fair reasons, I strongly believe that the majority of SLPP MPs will join the May Day celebrations. I said a majority because there are some who have gone overseas for party activities after notifying the party.
The Samagi Jana Balavegya will commemorate the International Labour Day under the auspices of leader of the Samagi Jana Balavegya and opposition Sajith Premadasa. The SJB May Day rally will be held in Chatham Street. The parade in line with May Day will kick off at Gunasinghapura Stadium under the theme Samagi Ratak Anagi Hetak. The SJB said they requested permission to hold May Day celebrations at several locations in Colombo, but their requests were denied.
We requested a permit for Town Hall. After they issued a letter, the event was cancelled. We also requested for a space opposite Lake House. We were denied permission then as well. On the 26th of February, I submitted a written request to the Municipal Council. Based on my letter, the Municipal Council forwarded it to the police for their recommendation. The police responded with their recommendation on the 27th of March. We have copies of all of these correspondence. However, there are concerns that some top officials of the Municipal Council may have extended their tenure beyond the retirement, possibly in violation of government instructions. Don't underestimate us. Don't expect us to back down. We will demonstrate our strength at the May Day rally. The truth is, some ruling parties are struggling to mobilize their base. Even President Ranil Wickremesinghe's UNP is facing similar difficulties.
The National People's Power has planned May Day celebrations at 4 locations across Sri Lanka. The theme for the NPP rally is Ratahadana Visandumata Janabala Ekapelata. In Colombo, the May Day celebration kicks off with a parade starting from the BRC grounds. Meanwhile, the National People's Power will hold their May Day rally tomorrow evening at Dr. C.W.W. Kannangaramabata near Viharamahadevi Park. The NPP May rally in Jaffna will be held tomorrow morning at the Nanda Silva Theatre. The May rally in Mathura has been arranged at the Mathura Beach Park. A May Day celebration is also scheduled to take place at the Anuradhapura Public Grounds.
The NPP is preparing to embark on a new political journey in this country with the working people from across the world. The 2024 May Day will mark the start of a journey towards massive political success to uplift the value of the courage, strength, trust and efforts of the working people.
Maithripala Sirisena, along with a group from the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, have organised a May Day rally at the municipal grounds in Gampaha. This May Day rally will be held under the theme Rata Rakina Jana Paura.
This rally will be held in Gampaha with individuals who can work in the party together with the trade unions. I have been informed that people from across the island will be participating in this rally. I too will attend this rally as a parliamentarian, but I will not be involved in organising the event.
Meanwhile, the acting secretary of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, Duminda Dissanayake, along with another group, arrived at the SLFP headquarters along Dali Road today and clarified matters regarding the May Day rally. Duminda Dissanayake said the party headquarters that were closed down by the police for the investigations was reopened yesterday following the conclusion of the investigations.
The keys were returned to us today. Without a single day of delay, we resumed our work at the party headquarters. All of us are looking forward for tomorrow. We have discussed with trade unions affiliated to our political party, the Nidahas Sevaka Sangamaya, and they will be holding a meeting at the Vihara Mahadevi open air stage. We have not organised for a massive rally like we did in the past. The trade unions of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party will be celebrating, but we will not be holding a political rally under the guise of celebrating the May Day. The trade unions of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party will be celebrating the May Day rally at 10 a.m. at the Vihara Mahadevi Park.
The Frontline Socialist Party is preparing to hold its May Day rally at Hyde Park grounds in Colombo, with the rally set to kick off from Maliga Kanda tomorrow afternoon.
The Frontline Socialist Party is gearing up to celebrate Labour Day under the theme Defeating the IMF Death Trap and Indian Colonialism of the Working Class. All arrangements are in place for the rally, which kicks off at 3 p.m. at the Hyde Park grounds.
A May Day rally by the Uttara Lanka Sabhagaya will be held tomorrow at 2 p.m. at the Lalit Atulat Mudali grounds in Kirulapana. The Sri Lanka Sama Samaja Party will hold its May Day rally at the Ananda Samarakona Open Air Theatre in Nugegoda.
Meanwhile, a special traffic plan will be in place for Colombo tomorrow.
Along
the road from the Sangaraj roundabout to the Samanta junction, the section from Jayanti Veerasekara junction to Sangaraj roundabout, that is the section of the road in front of PD Sirisena grounds. It will be used for a political rally. That road has been closed down as we speak, but anyone can use other roads in the vicinity and travel across that area. Also in Colombo, the lower Chatham Road, the section from York Street to Olcott Mawatha will be closed down. This section of the road has already been closed down. May Day rallies will travel across Olcott Mawatha and Lower Chatham Street. We will have to most probably close down these roads after 12 noon until the rally ends. Also, one lane along the CWW Kannangara Mawatha located close to Town Hall will be closed down. One lane of the section of the road from the Horton roundabout to the FR Senanayaka junction close to the Vihara Mahadevi Park will be closed down for a May Day rally. The Havelock Road, the Tumula Junction and several roads in the vicinity will be closed down as the May Day rallies will travel from the BRC grounds. We request people who are planning to come to Colombo from these areas tomorrow to refrain from doing so unless it is essential.
අත්‍යවශ්‍ය කාරණයක් සඳහා හැර මේ ප්‍රදේශවලට හෙට දින සවස් වරුවේ පැමිණීමෙන් වළකින කියලා පිළලා සිටිනවා.
When's the election?
The motorcycle rally under the theme Ranilta Idademo continued for the fourth day today.
The Ranilta Idademo rally began from Polonnaruwa today. The group that reached Deepoyana in Polonnaruwa was welcomed by UNP party supporters today.
All of us must realize the reasons why we should make way for Ranil. Ranil Wickremesinghe accepted this country as a bankrupt country, as a country that was rejected by the world. But within 1.5 years, he was able to transform the country into a state that was accepted by the world.
The group then proceeded to the Min area town. The Ranil Tidademu motorcycle rally then entered the Dambulla town.
රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ ජනාධිපතිතුමාගේ ආණ්ඩුවකට ඉඩ දුන්නේ නැද්ද? So sad. දීලා බලන්න ආසහිතයි. රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ මැතිතුමා මේ වන විට ලංකාව යථාතත්ත්වයට පත් වෙලා තිනවා.
The group is due to travel towards Kurunegala and will join the May Day rally of the United National Party in Colombo tomorrow.
Wins the election.
Former Minister of Climate and the Environment of Norway, Erik Solheim, commended President Ranil Wickremesinghe on a post on X following a meeting with the Sri Lankan president yesterday. He referred to President Wickremesinghe as the man who didn't run away. Quote, President Ranil Wickremesinghe has pulled off a political miracle in Sri Lanka. 18 months ago, the nation was in its deepest economic crisis ever. There were constant power cuts and long queues to buy fuel. Inflation was skyrocketing and most businesses on the verge of collapse. The people toppled the then president. Stability is now restored in the land. Inflation is low. Power cuts and lining up for fuel are things of the past. Life is for sure still tough for many Sri Lankans. There is a lot of economic pain, but Sri Lanka can start looking ahead to all the opportunities of a better future. President Ranil Wickremesinghe was the man who didn't run away when the crisis hit. It was wonderful to have a delicious dinner with my old friends Ranil and his wife Maitri in Colombo. End quote. MP Namal Rajapaksa also met with former Norwegian Minister Erik Solheim yesterday. Posting on X, Namal Rajapaksa said, the meeting took place at the Sri Lanka Pudujana Peramuna headquarters in Nelum Mawatha. Basil Rajapaksa also attended the meeting.
Wins the election.
SLPP's Prasanna Ranatunga and Prasanna Ranavira expressed their views on the party's presidential candidate after attending the development committee meeting in Gampaha today.
මගේ මතේ මං කියලා තියෙනවා පොට්ටුවෙන් ඉදිරිපත් වෙන්න කණ්ඩායමක් අපි බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ නැහැ කියන එකත් ඒ සඳහා සාකච්ඡාවක් මේ වෙනකන් අපි කරලා නැහැ. හැබැයි මේ වෙලාවේ රට ගොඩගත්ත නායකයා හැටියට අපි රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ මහතාට සහයෝගය දෙනවායි කියන එක දැන් මම මාස ගානක් තිස්සේ කියන එකක්. ඒක මගේ පෞද්ගලික මතය හැබැයි.
ඒකට ධම්මික පෙරේරා මහත්තයාත් ඉන්නවනේ දැන් මේ එන්න බලාගෙන ෂූට් කරන.
ඉතින් මේ ප්‍රසන්න රණවීර මහතුමාත් ඉන්නේ. ඒත් ඉන්නකන ෂූට් එක යදන් ඉන්නවා. ඉතින් ඔච්චර ගණන් ගන්න එපා.
ටෙන්ඩර් වැඩක් නැද්ද පක්ෂේ?
නෑ නෑ ඉතින් බලමුකෝ මිනිස්සු ඡන්ද දෙන කෙනානේ වටින්නේ. ෂූට් ඕන කෙනෙකුට මහ ගන්න පුළුවන්.
ඒකනේ දැන් පේන්නේ රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ මහත්තයාව තමයි මේ වෙනකොට ජනාධිපතිවරට එන්නේ.
නෑ ඉතින් අපි වේලාසන කියන්නේ නැනේ සංගුණු අමුත්තා හොයාගමුකෝ.
රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ මහත්තයාවත් ඔබතුමා මොකද කරන්නේ?
පූර්ණ සහයෝගය ලබා දෙනවා.
ඒ කියන්නේ ඔබතුමා රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ මහත්තයා එනකොට කැමැත්තෙන් ඉන්නේ.
අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම මම පෞගිය තිබ්බ කාලේ පරිච්ඡේදය තුල තිබ්බ අර්බුද රාශියක් විසඳලා අද සාමාන්‍ය තත්ත්වයට අපේ රට පත් කරලා තියෙනවා. ඉතින් මේ මිනිස්සු මිනිස්සු දක්ෂ විදියට මේ පෞසුගිය වර්ෂ දෙක තුල කාලය තුල මේ ආර්ථික කළමනාකරණය කරා. අපිට ඕනේ දක්ෂ විදියට මේ ආර්ථික කළමනාකරණය කළ ඉදිරියේදී රටට යමක් කරන නායකයෙක්.
රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ මහත්තයාද මේක සුදුසුයි කියලා
මට පේන්නේ දැනට එකම සුදුසා රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ ජනාධිපතිතුමා.
The Frontline Socialist Party's General Secretary declared the party's intention to contest in all future elections, including the presidential election. He expressed these views during Newsfirst's Pathikada program.
ඉදිරියේන ඕනම මැතිවරණයකට තරඟ කිරීමට අපි සූදානමක් තියෙනවා.
The Frontline Socialist Party is prepared to contest any upcoming election, be it the presidential election or the general election. However, we maintain our position that the executive presidency is an anti-national structure and advocate for its abolition. Nevertheless, recognizing the current political climate, both domestically and internationally, as a window of opportunity, we will actively participate in the upcoming elections. The Frontline Socialist Party is working to establish a common program alongside other leftist political parties.
A group of MPs and ministers have requested the Speaker to allow them to import duty-free vehicles while a debate was ongoing regarding an election.
Speaking to Newsfirst, Speaker Mahinda Apabewardena confirmed that he received a letter signed by government and opposition MPs requesting permits to import duty-free vehicles. The Speaker said he will direct their request to President Ranil Wickremesinghe. The Speaker added that MPs have not been allowed to import vehicles for 10 years and many ministers are using vehicles that are over 12 years old. Are MPs given vehicle permits? Journalists raised this question with the Cabinet spokesperson today.
Providing vehicle permits with certain tax exemptions, not only to parliamentarians but also to government employees, is a process that has been going on for a long time. But with the recent foreign exchange crisis, although permits were issued for government employees in some sectors, vehicles could not be imported due to the import ban. The Cabinet granted special permission to issue a permit for the import of 1,000 vehicles for tourism. Vehicle licenses are issued after carefully studying the impact on foreign exchange and foreign reserves. I don't know if the Speaker has informed the Cabinet and the President in this regard. There was no discussion regarding vehicle permits during the Cabinet meeting yesterday.
News First with the people.
And some news just in. The Ceylon Petroleum Corporation has decided to reduce the price of fuel. Now, accordingly, 92-octane petrol at CPC stations has been reduced by 3 rupees and will now cost 368 rupees a litre. 95-octane Euro 4 petrol has been reduced from 440 rupees to 420 rupees. That is a 20 rupee reduction for 95-octane Euro 4 petrol. And for Lanka Auto Diesel, the price has been reduced from 363 rupees to 333 rupees. That is a reduction of 30 rupees for Lanka Auto Diesel. Lanka Super Diesel 4-star Euro 4 has been reduced by 9 rupees to 377 rupees a litre, and kerosene oil has been reduced by 30 rupees from 245 rupees to 215 rupees. Now, moving on, in more local news, the Court of Appeal decided to defer hearing of the writ petition filed for bail by former Minister Keheli Rambukwella until the 7th of May.
The petition seeks to overturn the remand order issued by the Maligakanda magistrate, which denied bail to Keheli Rambukwella. It was initially expected to be announced today by Justice D.N. Samarakon. The judge clarified that the official announcement of the order would be postponed until the 7th of May. The respondents in the petition include the Maligakanda magistrate, Inspector General of Police, the Director of the Criminal Investigation Department and others.
The Court of Appeal postponed delivering the order until the 7th of May on the interim requests in the writ petition filed against holding in remand custody Dr. Kapila Vikramanayaka, Director of the Medical Supplies Division, over the incident surrounding the purchase of substandard vaccines. The petition was taken up today before Court of Appeal Justice D.N. Samarakon. The Inspector General of Police, the Director of the Criminal Investigations Department and the Maligakanda magistrate have been named as respondents in the petition.
Colombo High Court Judge Navaratna Marasinghe issued a ruling today acquitting former Minister Mahindananda Alutkamage in a bribery case.
The case, brought forward by the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption, centred around MP Mahindananda Alutkamge's involvement in the purchase of a luxurious house along Kinsey Road in Borella using 27.4 million rupees. Judge Marasinghe emphasised that the plaintiff, Vasantha Samarasinghe, was not called as a witness during the prosecution. He noted that the prosecution failed to establish that the funds used for the purchase were illegally obtained by the defendant. As a result, the judge rendered his verdict acquitting the accused based on the presumption of innocence.
Vasantha Samarasinghe, a Central Committee member of the JVP, levelled these allegations against me. However, he admitted he couldn't prove any of the charges. I have already explained the legality of my earnings. The JVP is attempting to destroy people politically through slander. I urge the party to learn from Mahindananda Alutkamage. Such tactics should be discontinued moving forward.
The Court of Appeal has set the 22nd of May to hear an appeal filed by Minister Prasanna Ranatunga, who was given a suspended sentence and fined on charges of demanding an amount of 64 million rupees from a businessman to grant the necessary approval for a land reclamation in Mitotamulla Kolonava and related activities. Following the trial on the charges filed for offences which he allegedly committed while he was the Chief Minister of the Western Province, the Colombo High Court sentenced Minister Prasanna Ranatunga to 2 years rigorous imprisonment, suspended for 5 years. In addition, the court imposed a fine of 25 million rupees. Minister Prasanna Ranatunga submitted the petition to the Court of Appeal stating that the manner in which the sentence was issued by the Colombo High Court was illegal and therefore requested him to be acquitted from the charges.
The action filed by Maharaja Entertainments Private Limited against another broadcaster for broadcasting and dubbing in Sinhala of an audiovisual work, the movie Asterix, The Secret of the Magic Potion, in 2019 was taken up for trial today before the Commercial High Court of Colombo before High Court Judge Priyantha Fernando.
Maharaja Entertainments claims that the exclusive rights in respect of the audiovisual work, quote-unquote, Asterix, The Secret of the Magic Potion, within the territory of Sri Lanka was and is with the Maharaja Group of companies, and in that backdrop, the defendant had knowingly dubbed and said audiovisual work and televised the same on the defendant's channel on the 19th of October 2019. Earlier, the court granted an interim injunction preventing the defendant from further broadcasting the said work. Furthermore, it was submitted to court that the Asterix audiovisual works has been dubbed in Sinhala and televised as Surapapa on Sirasa TV, which the general public is aware due to the popularity of Surapapa island-wide. The plaintiff, Maharaja Entertainments Private Limited, was represented by President's Counsel Dr. Harsha Cabral, with attorneys at law Nishan Premathiratna, Migara Cabral and Abhay and Vinodan, and instructed by Julius and Creasy.
A military delegation from Pakistan called on Chief of Defence Staff General Shavendra Silva.
Lieutenant General Ahsan Gulrez Hilal-e Imtiaz of the Pakistan Army visited the office of the Chief of Defence Staff and engaged in a cordial discussion with the Chief of Defence Staff General Shavendra Silva. During the meeting, Lieutenant General Ahsan Gulrez underscored the enduring friendship between Pakistan and Sri Lanka, affirming its status as a long-standing bond destined to endure into the future. General Shavendra Silva emphasized the deeply entrenched and robust bilateral relations shared between Sri Lanka and Pakistan's armed forces. General Shavendra Silva also expressed gratitude for the support and assistance provided by Pakistan during the darkest hours of the country and later the challenging times in the recent past. During the meeting, the two heads deliberated on matters pertaining to defense and training, while also considering numerous opportunities for collaboration in the future with respect to regional and global defense dynamics.
Up next is the Newsfirst Finance Report.
The Newsfirst Finance Report.
Sri Lanka State Minister of Finance Shehan Semsingha says that the turnaround of state-owned enterprises from a loss of 743 billion rupees in 2022 to a profit of 456 billion rupees in 2023 in Sri Lanka is significant. However, he noted that continuing on the divestment process of selected SOEs is vital to enhance private sector contributions, aligning with global economic challenges. This allows the government to focus on its core responsibilities and ensuring taxpayer money is utilized effectively and focus on essential investments on public services such as healthcare, education, agriculture, infrastructure development, and so on, which will improve the overall quality of public services. The State Minister said that restructuring and divestment of SOEs reduces government intervention in the economy, promoting market-driven decision-making and reducing the risk of inefficiency and political interference in business operations. The State Minister of Finance said that overall divestment of state-owned enterprises in Sri Lanka will lead to a more efficient, competitive and sustainable economy. State Minister of Tourism Dayana Gamage revealed plans to designate 49 additional tourist destinations as official tourist zones. These locations will be published in a gazette within a month as part of the ongoing efforts to boost tourism. During a press conference held at the Presidential Media Centre, State Minister of Tourism Dayana Gamage announced plans to establish a dedicated committee tasked with preventing and monitoring fraud and corruption within the tourism sector.
The Newsfirst Finance Report.
Today is day 4 of the third phase of the LOLC Divisavya program, which is being carried out for the betterment of Sri Lanka's future generation. Today's program was centered around the Dehiyawata education zone in the Kegol district.
Under the Divisavya program, exercise books and stationery equipment required for a year are distributed free of charge to government schools with less than 150 students. Accordingly, school bags and stationery equipment were donated to students of Damunupula Kanishta Vidyalaya, Atugoda Sri Sumangala Vidyalaya, Rambukkana Daliwala Mahavidyalaya, Udagaldeniya Valagamba Mahavidyalaya and Heva Adivela Mahavidyalaya. School books and stationery were also distributed at the Kegol Zonal Education Office and the Mavanella Zonal Education Office. This World initiative is a collaboration between the Ministry of Education and the LOLC Group. The LOLC Divisavya program continues to forge ahead for the future generation of Sri Lanka.
Up next is The World Today.
AstraZeneca for the first time admitted in its court documents that its COVID vaccine can cause rare side effects, paving way for a multi-million-pound legal payout. The pharmaceutical company is being sued in a class action over claims that its vaccine against COVID-19, developed with the University of Oxford, caused death and serious injury, including TTS, or thrombosis with thrombocytopenia syndrome, which causes people to have blood clots and a low blood platelet count. AstraZeneca, in collaboration with the University of Oxford, had developed AZD1222 vaccine after the outbreak of the coronavirus in 2020. In India and other low and middle income countries, it was manufactured and supplied under the name Covishield by Serum Institute of India through a license from the university and the Swedish-British drug maker. The report stated 51 cases have been lodged in the High Court, with victims and grieving relatives seeking damages estimated to be worth up to £100 million. The first case was lodged in 2023 by Jamie Scott, who was left with a permanent brain injury after developing a blood clot and a bleed on the brain since April 2021 when he received the vaccine. Yemen's Houthis said they targeted the MSC Orion container ship in a drone attack in the Indian Ocean as part of their ongoing campaign against international shipping in solidarity with Palestinians against Israel's military actions in Gaza. According to LSEG data, Portugal-flagged MSC Orion was sailing between the ports in Sines, Portugal and Salalah, Oman, and its registered owner is Zodiac Maritime. Zodiac is partly owned by Israeli businessman Eyal Ofer. The company did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Indonesia's Ruang volcano erupted today, spewing lava as lightning flashes lit up its crater, prompting authorities to raise the alert status and evacuate more than 12,000 people living on a nearby island. The Centre for Volcanology and Geological Hazard Mitigation had warned the residents of Tagulandong Island that a tsunami could be triggered by volcanic material collapsing into the ocean. The warning issued this morning remained in place as of the afternoon. The agency raised the alert status of Ruang to the highest level following the early morning eruption, urging residents not to go near the volcano. The eruption follows a series of eruptions earlier this month that forced hundreds to evacuate, and the airport in the provincial capital of Manado to close. The Metropolitan Police said a man with a sword was arrested in Hainault, east of London, after several people were attacked and injured. The force said it was called just before 7 a.m. after a vehicle drove into a house and reports that people have been stabbed. A statement read, quote, "At this time we understand the suspect went on to attack other members of the public and 2 police officers," unquote. It added the police were awaiting an update on the condition of those injured. The Met Police said a 36-year-old man was arrested at the scene.
According to the BBC, a leaked document understood to have been written by Iran's security forces says an Iranian teenager was sexually assaulted and killed by 3 men working for those forces.
The BBC has reportedly mapped what happened to 16-year-old Nikha Shakarami, who vanished from an anti-regime protest in 2022. Her body was found 9 days later. The government claimed she killed herself. Marked highly confidential, the report summarizes a hearing on Nikha's case held by the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, the security force that defends the country's Islamic establishment. It includes what it says are the names of her killers and the senior commanders who tried to hide the truth. Just before she vanished, Nikha was filmed on the evening of the 20th of September near Laleh Park in central Tehran, standing on a dumpster setting fire to hijabs. According to the documents, several undercover security units were monitoring the demonstration. One of these, Team 12, suspected the teenager of leadership due to unconventional behavior and repeated calls with her mobile phone. The team sent one of its operatives into the crowd, posing as a protester to confirm Nika was indeed one of the demonstration's leaders. Then, according to the report, he called in his team to arrest her, but she fled. The document contains disturbing details of events in the back of an undercover van in which security forces were restraining Nika. The report concludes that a sexual assault caused the fight in the rear compartment of the van and that strikes from Team 12 had caused.
From coast to coast in the US, demonstrators are sparring over the Israel-Hamas war and its mounting death toll. And the number of arrests at campuses across the United States is approaching 1,000 as the final days of class wrap up.
Pro-Palestinian demonstrators at Columbia University have occupied an academic building as part of their protest over the war in Gaza. The Columbia Spectator campus newspaper reported dozens of activists broke into Hamilton Hall early today and barricaded themselves inside. The university and police are yet to comment. Columbia earlier began suspending students involved in an encampment who defied a deadline to disperse. Students were warned they would face disciplinary action if they failed to move by 1400 EST on Monday. But as the deadline passed, dozens of students rallied at the site. More than 900 protesters have been arrested over the last 11 days across the United States as demonstrations against Israel's attack continue to spread. A university public safety official said at least 6 protesters were arrested at Tulane University on Monday after tents were set up on the campus in New Orleans that day. The protesters were arrested on suspicion of offences including trespassing, battery on an officer and resisting arrest. Police in Richmond responded to protesters at Virginia Commonwealth University's campus. Video shows officers in riot gear apprehending individuals and throwing one person to the ground while shouting, quote, "Stop resisting, you're under arrest," unquote. Dozens of people were arrested Monday at a protest on the campus of University of Texas at Austin, according to the university's Defend Palestine encampment, who also alleged that officers used force to take people into custody. The University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee warned protesters who established an encampment on its campus Monday that camping on campus grounds is unlawful and violates state code. The university also reiterated its calls for a ceasefire in Gaza and the release of hostages. The United States and the United Kingdom have urged Hamas to accept an Israeli proposal for a truce in the Gaza war and the release of some captives held in the besieged territory.
Hamas has before it a proposal that is extraordinarily generous on the part of Israel. And in this moment, the only thing standing between the people of Gaza and a ceasefire is Hamas. They have to decide.
British Foreign Secretary David Cameron said on Monday that the Israeli proposal delivered to Hamas includes a 40-day truce in the Gaza war and the release of potentially thousands of Palestinian prisoners in return for the release of some Israeli captives.
So I hope Hamas do take this deal, and frankly all the pressure in the world and all the eyes of the world should be on them today, saying take that deal.
Hamas continues to review the latest Israeli ceasefire proposal, but a senior official from the group noted it continues to ignore demands for a permanent end to